Let's talk about your rookie punter, Robbins. I know probably there was some frustration there in the early stages. I mean, to get off to a slow start, but as you're looking at numbers, look back on some of those. I mean, he ended up, 20 inside the 20, 5 touchbacks plus 15. That's respectable, and his his gross was just over 44. His net was over 40, and he definitely his graph was going up as the season went along, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they started down at the bottom, certainly at the beginning.
Nowhere to go
There's
but up, right?
nowhere to go but up. And no, I think
Uh,
everybody felt that frustration. Unfortunately for him, in the opener, we get blindsided by Cleveland and their defense, and like he sets the rookie record. I think we punted 11 times
yeah,
in a windy, rainy game. So if you're looking to try to ease a rookie
right.
into his career, I mean that was not easing into him. He got punched right in the face and from the get go. And Brad's a hardworking guy that it means a lot to him. Was the execution always what it needed to be? No, it certainly wasn't. And was the consistency there? No, it certainly wasn't. It was frustrating for him. It was frustrating for me. Certainly frustrating for a lot in some instances. But I do think that he grew immensely just in terms of what it takes, what it requires to be an NFL punter, and how different that is from what it is in college. The college rules are so much different that your exposure to good returns is not the same because the difference in college football is everybody can release on the snap. The whole punt team can release as soon as the ball is snapped. And so you hang it up in college. I mean, you're going to force a fair catch 75% of the time or more. Not that way in our league. In our league, only the gunners or the end men can release on the snap. Everybody else has got to wait till the ball's punted. So, like an offensive pass play, an interior protection guy on the punt team could be called for being illegally downfield on a punt play. They can't leave until the ball's punted.
Right.
So that's the NFL's way of trying to create more returns. And so Brad is a guy that the reason we drafted him is because he can still hang it up really well. He had good control directionally, both right and left. That's what he showed at Michigan. It was a bit inconsistent this year for sure. He knows he's got to work terribly hard on consistency and I fully believe that he'll improve. I think his average was 44.3 on the year.
Yep.
If you look, I think at Kevin Huber's average as a rookie was at 42.9,
Hmm.
his rookie season, and that seems like light years ago that
Right.
happened.
Right.
But so maybe if it's an indication that kind of where Kevin started, where Brad started, hopefully we can keep developing him, and Brad will have a good long productive career.
There's the old axiom that year one to year two is when players make their biggest gains, because year one you kind of don't know what you don't know yet, but you go
Yep.
through it and then you have an off season to reflect on it and improve and all that. And I know it was for me. I mean, my first year to second year, I mean, the light went on in a lot of different ways, and
Yeah.
do you think, in your experience with punters, kickers,
Yeah.
and special teams players, does it apply to them as well?
Oh, for sure. And I think especially for somebody like Brad, who,
Yeah.
he was on a team in college in Michigan, was fortunate enough to play in the playoff. And so he's playing up into January, so then his season really doesn't end at the end of January. He then is getting prepared for, any All-Star games that he plays in,
Yeah.
postseason All-Star games. Then he's in preparation for the combine. Then after the combine, he's doing pro days and individual workouts. And then as soon as that, here comes the draft and hits in April. And then he's into OTAs. And then so the first break he really got was the end of June. And he gets really the end of June, but he's still training. It's not like he's not punting. And then here comes the whole NFL season. So he really hasn't had an off season just to sit back and
Yeah.
and let his body and his mind and everything recover since 2 years ago, really. So hopefully he needs to just take a step back, get his body refreshed, get his mind refreshed, hit reset, and then be ready to go when we get things called back up this spring. So I think certainly for a rookie punter, his gas tank it was running on empty, a long time ago, and so hopefully we can get it.
Right.
He can get back to get a full tank of gas and hit recharge and be ready to go.